Thoughts of silverware will have to wait a week, as before their trip to Wembley, the Reds are in the capital for the first of two very tricky games in quick succession. There might just be a bus stop in Hounslow, but it's an exact change in fortunes at the G-Tech that's required for Jurgen Klopp's men this afternoon. Yes, it's Brentford versus Liverpool in the Premier League. It's a tie that the Reds have yet to taste victory in. A different outcome is much needed this afternoon. We've got audio commentary on the way for this 12:30 kickoff, but before that, we've got all the build-up you need on LFC TV. Well, welcome along to Matchday Live. I'm joined here in the studio by Gary Gillespie and Stephen Warnock. Welcome, gents. Before we get stuck in, let's head down to the capital and to Becky Davis and former Red Natasha Dowie.
Yeah, good morning to you, Steve, and everyone else back in the studio. Welcome to West London. We are here at the G-Tech. I've got to tell you, it's a pretty grey and miserable West London we're in at the moment as Liverpool seek to navigate yet another 12:30 kickoff. It might not be our favourite kickoff time, but so far they've not gone too badly this season, have they? 3 wins and a draw from the previous 4. Tash Dowie's made the long journey down from Merseyside. She's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and looking forward to this one, I think.
I am very much. Yeah, it's always nice to be down in London. I came down yesterday, caught up with all my family, going to go and support the women tomorrow in Brighton, but really looking forward to the game today. I think there's going to be a good buzz, the likes of Gomez being back, Bradley, Mo Salah, Kanate. I really have a good, confident feeling about the boys today. Yeah,
we'll be bringing you the Liverpool team very shortly. In terms of gathering a bit of momentum together now, obviously important to get back on track last week against Burnley, and equally as important to follow that up with another positive result and, as I say, build that momentum again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Arsenal game was disappointing, but like you said, back on track. Coming here, you know, it's not our favourite ground to come to. Lost the last game, drawn the game before that, so it's not a ground that maybe we've had great success. The likes of Ivan Toney's on form, so we have to bring our A game today, and obviously a massive game later on with City as well. So the pressure's on now, but I'm really confident. Like I said, the boys are playing well, and I do think the players coming in will give us a massive boost. Yeah, we have to mention it though. That news about Allison last night obviously came as a big blow. Listen, Quaveen Kelleher obviously played last week and it has proved himself a more than able deputy many times over, but no doubt it is a blow for today and potentially, I guess, for a few more games to come as well. Yeah, he's the best keeper in the world, and it's worrying. You know, the hamstring, I think, injuries, it's gone up 90% this season to last season, so that's something that needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
But we do have a great number 2. You know, Kelleher was massive for us last week, probably really saved us in many moments of the game. You know, came up with some big one-on-one saves that could have changed the game. So that's really good that we've got him as a number 2. But let's hope it's not too long for Allison. You know, it's a really important business end of the season now, and we need our number 1 fit and ready.
We certainly do. And just a word on Brentford. Obviously, listen, no away game in the Premier League is straightforward by any means. They had a big win, wasn't it, last weekend away at Molineux against Wolves. 2-0 they beat them. Are the signs there they're maybe getting back on track slowly?
Yeah, I think absolutely. To be without Tony for so long is a huge blow for them. You know, so he's come back in. I think he's got 3 in his last 4. He's flying. Mbappe is obviously in really good form as well, scoring goals. So I think we need to be aware of them. You know, and they've found good form now. It's a big win, you know, last week, like we said, and they're 14th in the league, and they'll be really wanting now to kickstart their season. And they'll fancy their chances against Liverpool. Like I said, they've got a good record against Liverpool here, but I think our boys just have too much for them.
OK, thanks very much, Tash. Tash will be back alongside myself with the Liverpool team news very soon. Back to you for now, Steve.
Thank you, Becky. That team news coming very shortly. Let's have a chat with the guys. Say good morning to Gary and Stephen. How are you guys? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
The dreaded 12:30 kickoff. Is it dreaded? Is too much read into this?
Well, I think if you look back to last season, it probably was. This season we've fared a lot better in the games we've played at 12:30. So I think it's like it's a subconscious kind of thing. It might play a little bit in some players' minds, but in saying that, regardless of tea time, whether it's 3 o'clock, 5:30, 8:30, 12:30, these guys have been through it all before, so they should be like accustomed to it and acclimatised to the fact that they're playing at 12:30, and I don't think it will be a problem. There's probably more of a problem from Brentford than there will be from the time of the kickoff. We've not done particularly well down here. Brentford have managed to bully us a lot in the game so far when we are down at this G-Tech stadium. So we need big performances from if Allison Becker looks as if he's going to be out injured from our goalkeeper and our 2 centre-backs, whoever they might be.
Okay, the 12:30 thing, is it different if there's games midweek either side? Does that affect the players, do you think?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just personally from a point of view of your preparation, how you prepare for the game, what you're eating in the morning. A lot of lads like to eat certain things before a game. They'll have superstitions.
Well, so they might have got it wrong last season.
No, I'm just saying, just from the point of view of even
routine.
talking about
Right.
your pasta. Do you eat pasta at 9:30 in the morning before a game? Do you eat chicken and veg and things like that? It's what you're eating at 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's also the fact of, a lot of the time, say if you haven't had a good night's sleep and you're playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can actually go back to sleep for an hour once you've had your breakfast and have another hour's sleep and know that you've got that. If you haven't slept well last night, suddenly you've got things preying on your mind and thinking about things. So it's all a little preparation things. And you like routine. We're creatures of habit. Everyone loves that little routine that they get into. Some won't mind it. Some will be thinking, no, I quite like this. I'm more energetic in the morning and I'm ready for the game. And there'll be others that are thinking, absolutely not. I'd rather have the lie-in and take longer to get prepared for the game.
These are elements we don't think about. I think it was Paul Merson the other day was talking about the outcome of the title race, and he said these 12:30 kickoffs will have an impact. It may even decide the title race, because obviously for City, for Liverpool, for Arsenal, they will get the TV coverage and they will sort of spiral on being a 12:30 or a Saturday evening or a Sunday afternoon. And of course we saw it last week, didn't we? You know, City set the template beating Everton, Liverpool had to do it, then Arsenal came out to beat West Ham. Do you think the title race will be affected by this?
Well, what was Mel saying, that if you play too many games at 12:30, you won't win the title?
I'm asking you to decide for this. Is it going to affect
he was basically saying that whoever plays at 12:30 and if they win that game puts the pressure on the other two teams. So.
Is it easier if you've already got the win under your belt?
When you come down to like the end of the season, where you've got a handful of games left, 5 games left, and you're in the running for the title, every game's difficult, regardless of like what time you're kicking off. You look at the Premier League. In the Premier League, you can be playing it on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock. You can be playing on a Sunday at 4:30. You can be playing on a Sunday at 2 o'clock. You can be playing on a Friday night at like 7:30. So regardless of when you're playing, I don't think it comes into it. It's about who is the stronger, or like the character within your squad of players. And it won't come down to 12:30 kickoffs, trust me.
Right, so you wouldn't feel the pressure if you were playing on the Sunday, but you knew the other two teams had won on the Saturday. You wouldn't feel that added pressure.
But that's why Gary won a league title. Listen, I've been in a situation where I've been going after, like, I know it was only at Wigan and League One, but we were top of the league, and we always felt if we could win our game first, if we played earlier, that put added pressure on the other team, because they're always chasing them.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, Steve, is it doesn't matter if it's 12:30, because you could be playing on a Saturday at 5:30 at night, and then your opposition are playing on a Sunday.
No, but I think what he's basically saying is whoever plays first within that weekend has got that upper hand and the advantage, isn't it? And I think it was purely just because of this game at the weekend that this one was kicking off at 12:30. He was saying Liverpool have actually got a bit of advantage here over the other two teams, so it is understandable. I see a little bit in that.
I'm 100% sure there'll be a stat somewhere that'll tell you, there'll be some sort of stat.
One way or another.
Yeah. Two sides to it. Look, anyway, Liverpool can cement a 5-point lead at the top today, which is pretty decent, isn't it?
I think we're in a fantastic position. I think, when you look at our away form last season, that certainly cost us dearly. We're well ahead of that kind of form this season, and that's what we'll have to continue till the actual end of the season if we're going to be up there challenging with the likes of Manchester City. I think they've come back from the club World Club Championship. They've not lost a game since or something. I think it's 12 games in the spin that they've actually gone and won. So that's the kind of form that you're up against. But Liverpool have proved in the past that we're more than capable of doing that as well. And this is a tough one. I think this is one of the toughest fixtures that Liverpool will face in the Premier League, because of past results. We've not done well against these teams.
Okay, it's an exciting run-in, isn't it? Time to head back down to the G-Tech once more, and Becky has details of the team news. Becky.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, Steve. Obviously, fast forward last weekend, battling illness, injury and suspension against Burnley. It's fair to say that this week Jurgen Klopp does have a few more players at his disposal, but obviously, as we spoke about earlier on, that blow, that injury to Allison, also the ongoing issues with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Dominic Szoboszlai as well, meaning they're not available today, but their absences are tempered, I can tell you, by the return to the squad, but not the starting lineup of Mohamed Salah this afternoon. He is on the bench for Liverpool. In total, it is just the 2 changes actually from last weekend. Let's show you the Liverpool team sheet in full, and its returns today, a very welcome return after an understandable absence away from the team to spend time with his family for Conor Bradley, and Ibu Konate as well comes back after that 1 match ban served last weekend against Burnley. So the team sheet in full then, it is Quevin Kelleher in goal, continuing from last weekend against Burnley unexpectedly because of that injury to Allison. Endo keeps his place in midfield. Virgil van Dijk playing his 250th game actually for Liverpool in all competitions in this match. 21 goals from Virgil van Dijk in that time. Ibu Konate, as I say, comes back in after suspension. Luis Diaz continues up front, as does Darwin Núñez. He's made more appearances for Liverpool this season in all competitions than any other player. His 37th appearance this afternoon here at the G-Tech. The midfield, Alexis McAllister keeps his place, as does Curtis Jones. Diogo Jota continues up front, looking for his 100th goal actually in English football today. 44 for Wolves, 55 for Liverpool for Diogo Jota. Andy Robertson and, as I say, Conor Bradley complete the lineup. The substitutes bench, Adrian Joe Gomez returns from illness, as we say. Mohamed Salah, who of course scored twice in the 3-0 win at Anfield earlier on this season. He's on the bench for the Reds today alongside Cody Gakpo, Harvey Elliott, who was so instrumental in that second half against Burnley last weekend. Kostas Tsimikas, Ryan Gravenberch, James McConnell and Jarell Quansah complete the Liverpool substitutes bench. Tash Dowie has been taking a look at the team, and listen, we thought maybe Mohamed Salah would start this afternoon. It's a place on the bench for him, and I think that clearly just underlines how well the front three have been doing without him, because the goals have been flowing regardless of Mohamed Salah not being in the team.
They've been sensational. You know, if you look at the front three without Mo Salah, everyone was wondering how we would cope without him, and they've stepped up. They've been massive for us. So it's a case of, he's going to have to bide his time, but we all know Mo. He'll be absolutely desperate to get on today and to get back into the swing of things. He's someone that he loves to play 90 minutes week in, week out, and I'm sure sooner rather than later we'll see him. But it's great. The front three, Diaz, Núñez, Jota, 9 goals for Núñez, 8 for Jota, 5 for Diaz. They're flying. So that's really good. To be honest, I feel sorry for Harvey Elliott. I think he's so unlucky not to be started. Comes on last week, completely changes the game. 2 assists. I don't care if people are saying it's 1, it's 2 assists. But again, it shows how well people are performing. But it's great that you know that you've got someone like him can come on and change a game. Yeah, it's LFC TV will definitely give him 2 assists last week, I think. And a welcome return, as we say, for Conor Bradley. On the flip side, extremely frustrating with Trent, but we have got full faith in Conor Bradley now in that position. It's really sad to obviously what happened with his dad, and all of our feelings go out to him. But before that, he was phenomenal for us. Came onto the scene, assisting, scoring goals. So, yes, disappointing to be missing Trent, but what a player to come in and step in. And I'm sure he'll be wanting just to get back playing. And it's a nice welcome distraction, I guess. And hopefully he can really hit the ground running again, because he's going to be key for us as well at this time of the season. OK, thanks very much, Tash. Just very briefly on Brentford, it's just the one change for them from that win over Wolves at Molineux last week. In comes Christoph Ayer in place of Ethan Pinnock at the heart of defence. More on their team very shortly. Back to you in the studio for now, though.
Indeed, guys, let's have a look at that Liverpool lineup. So we know that Quevin Kelleher starts today. I was just looking at the stats, and it's his 14th start of the season. It seems a lot, but it's correct. He's played a lot of football for Liverpool.
Yeah, he has, and obviously Europa League comes into that, and then injuries before to Allison at the beginning of the season. So I think it just... Listen, we've spoken before about Kelleher and how much of a great understudy he is. But he's got a great opportunity now to show people how good he is within the Premier League. I think a lot of the games that he's played have been sort of Carabao Cup and Europa League, but the bread and butter's the Premier League. You want to play Premier League football, and he's been given the opportunity. He was great last week, made some great one-on-one saves from Amdouni, and then the other one from Fofana, where he's come out and he's almost been in that position where 1v1 we're so used to seeing Allison do that. But his positional sense, how quick he was of reading that situation was great. So it's testament to him that we're not sat here worrying too much about it. Yes, we lose Allison, and he's a quality keeper. He's arguably one of the best in the world. But we're sat here thinking, no, we're all right. We're quietly calm about it and not overly worried.
Yeah, he's played and performed in big games. I mean, look, he's playing in the cup final next week. He played a cup final a couple of years ago, didn't he? A couple of youngsters, himself and Connor Bradley, were within that back five. And yet there is confidence, Gary, isn't there?
Yeah, I think just the way that we've seen the young players come in, I think you can throw Jarrell Kwanzaa into that equation as well. I think every time that he's come in, he's looked very, very accomplished, doesn't look really out of place, and certainly you could throw that and say that about Connor Bradley as well. I think he actually got Player of the Month last month, didn't he? Yeah. So that shows you how well he came into the side and played. Not just a fill-in for like Trent Alexander-Arnold, but outstanding like performances. And to cap it off with a goal was absolutely brilliant. So his performances have been sensational. Sometimes as a young player, it's hard to like keep going and live up to that kind of level of performance from week to week. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays. But again, a bit like what you're talking about, Keller, I don't think many Liverpool fans will have a problem with him coming and starting at right full-back. I think they'll be tested today. I think one thing that Brentford do, they put you under pressure. I mentioned it earlier on. I think your two centre-backs and your goalkeeper will have a lot of like duels to win, a lot of contests with one-on-one situations. You've got to win your battles, and Kelleher will certainly be put under a lot more pressure than maybe what we've seen in recent games in the Premier League.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned Connor got the Player of the Month for January. It's come very early in his career, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it a blessing? Do you overthink that as a player? Is that?
No, I don't think he can. The big thing for me when I watched Connor when he came through, at first I was thinking, is he physically ready for the Premier League and physically ready for first team football? And I think what we've seen over the last couple of weeks is, well, certainly the last month or so, is that he is ready, understands the game extremely well, time of his runs are great. It's up to the teammates around him now to keep him grounded, and his family as well. Obviously he's going through a really difficult situation at the moment, but you need the support of everyone around you. But your teammates are the most important ones, day to day. How do they keep you grounded? The senior players within the dressing room, are you listening to them? Do you not get a little bit too big for your boots at times and think that you've made it? He's, 2-3 months into his professional career at the top club. I know he's been at Bolton and he's done extremely well, but that's not Liverpool. For Liverpool, and I know this from experience because I couldn't do it, is that you've got to keep this consistency week after week for 10-15 years or 10 years to become a great at Liverpool and to become a mainstay in the team. That's the pressure. It's not being able to do it for 1 month or 2 months. That's fantastic.
You're not a first team player till you've played 100 games.
100 games, that's it, yeah.
I feel like he's heard that before. Quick word on the Brentford line-up today. Of course, they got a much-needed win against Wolves. We'll talk about them in detail later, but they've made just one change, and Ivan Toney is clearly the big worry, isn't he?
Well, I think they're a different team with Ivan Toney in the equation. And Bumo, I think, as well, would add quite a bit to them. But you've got to give Neil Mopey a little bit of credit as well. He's come in and really hit the ground running and scored a number of goals where, like, you look at him at Everton, he couldn't hit like a barn door, to be quite honest with you. But certainly, I think Toney coming back into the squad has given them a massive lift, and they're a different team with him in it. You know, apart from that win against Wolves last week, they were struggling. They were actually getting dragged down maybe into a relegation battle. But with Toney coming back, I don't see a problem for them. Hopefully, he just doesn't turn up today.
Yeah, you do hope so, don't you? And of course, Liverpool, a lot's been made of this fact that Liverpool haven't won there for the last 2 seasons, but it is only 2 seasons.
Yeah, and the thing is that can change today, and then we forget about that stat, and that's what you've got to look at, isn't it? You've got to be thinking, well, let's go there and win, let's be dominant. I think.
Sorry, Steve.
No, go on, you go.
I think the more concerning stat is the fact that we've lost 3 goals in both the games.
Yeah.
Okay. Time to say goodbye now to those of you watching on social media. If you'd like to stay with us on Matchday Live, you can find details of how to subscribe to LFC TV and LFC TV Go online at liverpoolfc.com/watch. If you're sticking with us, then we've got full audio commentary available from 12:30. Neil Mellor is in the hot seat with Steve Hunter, and then after full time, we've got the Matchday reaction. Later on tonight, we've got free highlights available from 5:15. Then come midnight, the full match replay will be available on LFC TV Go. And of course, inside our exclusive behind the scenes of everything at the G-Tech will be on our Facebook and YouTube channels on Monday. OK, time for us to take a break now. Plenty more coming up as Liverpool travel to Brentford. We've got the two managers coming up, plus a word from the Bees captain, Christian Norgard. We're back shortly.